Hey everybody, I wanted to talk about ruminations today. Um, Ruminations are those thoughts, usually they are of a negative nature. Actually, I would probably welcome positive ruminations, uh, but most of our ruminations are negative, and they're thoughts that just loop, loop, loop. So if you're a 4 on the Enneagram, a lot of times those loops can be about suffering or about envy. Or if you're a 3 on the Enneagram, they can be about like not achieving enough or not being perfect. And then sometimes it doesn't even matter the Enneagram type, it's just more about which emotions are you suppressing and then how it kind of surfaces up. And this came up because I had a client who can have some pretty significant aggressive or violent ruminations to the point that even during postpartum, having that fear that she might harm her baby because the ruminations were just looping. And I wanted to just explain that ruminations have been linked to suppressed emotions. And so I just want to talk today about like suppressed anger. So when we experience a strong emotional reaction, a strong anger, or when we try to push down or block anger, the body responds with the stress response. So it's almost like the body's responding to something and it's getting this, right? Anger kind of comes up and out, comes up, and then we go, no way, not today. But that energy's got to go somewhere, so it comes back into the system, and it creates actually an upregulation of the nervous system. So, which creates a heightened arousal, which makes the mind more likely to generate intrusive thoughts, because it's like the body system's going, what's going on? We had this big emotion, and now we're like holding on to it, and we had a reason for the emotion, right? Like emotions are information. So then when we repress it, the mind starts kind of ticking away. Cognitive psychology research shows that unprocessed anger can distort how we interpret situations as well. And so when somebody is already emotionally activated, the brain may misread neutral events as threatening or hostile. And this can lead to aggressive ruminations, where the mind repeatedly replays thoughts or images of conflict. I am very guilty of this. I can be like, why did they do that? I can't believe it. Oh, no. And then go into, that was just so rude and blah, blah. And then at the end, I've just realized like, it's really my own projection because I'm not honoring my feelings, right? And I don't have to talk it out with somebody, but at least journaling about how someone's behavior affected me, or talking to a friend neutrally, about, hey, this happened. Can you just hold a space while I process it out, so that I'm not stuck in these negative thought patterns that just keep me stuck in a negative thought pattern. And so one of the things that you can do is journal. One of the things you can do is talk to somebody about it. Go and start to, like, what I tell clients first is, when you start ruminating, that is the time, when you become aware of a negative rumination, that is the time to start journaling what has happened in the last 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours. It can go back even as far as 72 hours. Shoot, it can go back a whole lifetime, but we'll just stick with 72 hours. Like, what happened, and what is the rumination about? What feelings do I think that rumination is trying to express to me? Often aggression is anger. And then you can start tracking and seeing that maybe the rumination is associated with something that your husband says to you that you're interpreting as a criticism of how much you eat. And it's really just an innocent thing he's saying because you asked him to help you diet. Or it could be something that, your neighbor keeps doing the lawn, blowing the leaves and the grass cuttings on his lawn, but then he's blowing it into your lawn, and you just ruminate and ruminate, versus going over and saying, hey, this really bothers me. Can we work it out? And he may say yes or no. And then you have a choice. But when we stay stuck in the repressed emotions and stuck in the ruminations, there's no choice. It's just suffering. So I'd like for you just to, for today, tomorrow, this week, start to be aware of what you're ruminating about. Maybe start writing it down. Maybe just start considering, if I believed these ruminations were connected to repressed emotions, what might my system, my brain, be trying to tell me about what I'm repressing? What feelings might that be linked to? So that's your challenge for the next day, few days, until we talk again. I hope you have a good day, and think some positive thoughts today. Maybe even do something kind and nice and friendly. Take care.